that gonna be on the calendar?
No, that's gonna be in there.
You started it right when I was saying that.
That was perfect.
Oh man.
Welcome back to the Arctic Circle podcast. If it's your first episode, welcome. Glad to have you.
What are you doing if it's your first episode?
Go watch all of them.
Keep listening to this one though. Keep listening to this one because it's going to be a good one. And
Circle
then
back,
go back
after the fact.
Just start off. Want to plug our social media. We've got an Instagram and TikTok going. Both are at Arctic Circle Podcast. Check them out. Like, comments, do all of it.
Are we gonna have a Spotify by this time?
Potentially,
we might have a Spotify. You can find that in our link tree. That's
maybe
also
you're
on our
listening
Instagram.
to this on Spotify.
Yeah, who
Maybe.
knows?
You are in the future right now. That is not currently the case, but hopefully it is one day. So today, we are going to go back into some pop culture topics, another ranking episode. Our first one since the Top 5 Comfort Shows episode.
What a great episode. If you haven't seen it, episode 2, baby.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
Our first real episode.
Yeah.
I would say. It was a good one, fun one to record, so I think we're going to have a good time today.
Oh, yeah.
So today we're going to be counting down our top 3 favorite video games of all time. Just to be clear, these are our personal preferences. They're all going to be completely subjective. And this is going to be based off, similar to Comfort Shows, it's going to be based off, I'm sure nostalgia is going to play a role in other things. So they may not be the greatest games of all time, by critics, but they are our favorites. Mm-hmm. So today I'm joined by my co-hosts, Alex.
What's up?
And Josh.
Yo.
And we also have a guest on our episode today, Michael Sheridan. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Michael. I'm Josh's roommate.
Oh, that's crazy.
I play a good amount of video games, so
don't list them yet.
Yeah,
I won't. But thank you guys for having me on today.
And of course,
if you want, you could give a little background of your video gaming history. You have a pretty in-depth video game history.
Yeah, so I played video games for a lot of my life. Most recently, obviously in college, I played on our college team for Counter-Strike. And video games have just always been a part of my life. I've moved around a lot, so it's just always been something that I've been able to do for comfort. So yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
He's also a UGA student. We got all the UGA students coming on, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be you next. We'll see.
Whoever you is in this situation.
Whoever you is.
Also, our ice machine is currently broken, but Michael will be joining us for an ice bath shortly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It'll happen.
It'll happen. Yes.
All
It
right.
has to happen.
It does have to
It is
happen.
required by law.
We don't
It's in the
put this
bylaws.
out if you don't ice bath.
That's right. Lost episode.
It's in the archives. They'll dig it up from the ground.
That's awesome.
Alrighty,
Does
well.
anyone else have anything they want to say before we get into it?
No, I think we can
Intro.
just dive into
Intro's
it.
solid. We can just start.
All right.
Yeah.
Colin,
Does
you
anyone-
should probably go first.
Sure. Yeah. What order do we want to go in here?
Or do you want Michael to go first?
Yeah, I like Michael.
We can get
Michael,
Michael
start us
go
off.
first and go around the room.
Yeah,
Yeah, Mike, you
sounds
can go
good.
first.
Are we doing all 3 or just number 3? You want to go around?
We're gonna do
clockwise?
3. Everyone does number 3, then everyone does number 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll
so
go
just
around.
introduce the game and talk about what it is and how you how it's played and.
Yeah. So my number 3
Drum
would
roll.
my number 3 would be Star Wars Battlefront 2.
What?
It's for the PlayStation 2, not the new one.
The PlayStation,
man.
The original Star Wars
Dude,
Battlefront
this is getting
2.
good.
Great game.
For the
Great
PS2,
game.
you don't know how that game plays. It's not like it's just like many other shooters.
Yeah, kind of open.
Yeah, it's kind of like open world.
Similar to open world.
Yeah, just a lot of nostalgia. The PlayStation 2 is the first console I grew up on, and that was the first big game I got for it, and I played so much of that game growing up. And when I moved to Ohio, one of my current best friends, that's how we became good friends. He would come over and basically like every day over the summer we'd play that game.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of fun. I'm sure many people know about the newer Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Sorry.
It's still a good game. I don't think it's as great. Like there's just something about like the nostalgia from the old game. I think.
I play the new game.
Does it play the same way? Is it the same concept?
Yeah,
Or
it's like the same concept.
It's just remastered, the new
Yeah,
one?
it's just like updated graphics
And they threw in some micro transactions into
Oh,
it.
yeah,
that was a
have to.
huge controversy.
yeah, it was
when
about
came out.
EA Sports, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
They love their money.
Yeah.
They do.
Who was your favorite? I'm not sure what the actual term is, but like hero to play.
Hero.
Yeah, they call it heroes.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it Heroes?
Yeah.
Heroes versus villains.
Yeah, you
Okay,
could
and
play. You could
villains,
play
or villains.
like you could play during.
I want to
like,
get my favorite too. But I play the new version. So
Okay.
They had the like you could either play as like the Clone Wars era, so like you had access to like all of those guys,
Yeah.
and then also like the Rebel era as well. I don't know. I'd probably say I'm generic. Probably either Anakin or Darth Maul was fun to play with.
dude, Darth Maul is so fun. He just does like a lightning dash across the screen.
Yeah.
That's pretty broken.
Dude, you gotta play with Yoda. You gotta play with Yoda because his
I remember
hitbox.
Yoda.
His hitbox is so small. It's so overpowered.
Doesn't he like flip around the map?
Yeah, he
too?
just flips around. You can't really
I played
shoot
a little
him.
bit of like the newer Battlefront.
Your
2.
best bet is getting another hero and fighting him because you can't shoot him. You
Yeah.
cannot kill him with the gun. It's impossible.
Yeah.
And then,
So,
yeah,
oh,
That's a
Mike,
great
that was
pick.
that
That's a
was
great
dude, that was
pick.
solid. I was not expecting that from you.
yeah.
Well, my list is pretty. I didn't really have to think very hard for my list. I kind of came up with all of them in about a 10-second period. I mean, that doesn't mean that these aren't very important games in my life, but it's just I don't know. I did not have a hard time for obvious reasons. So
I
I'm
mean,
just
I would
gonna,
say those are the most important. Then those are the ones that came right to
Yeah.
your mind.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I'm gonna say right now these are 3 Xbox One games. So I'm living in more recent times with these picks.
What a contemporary gamer.
I'm very contemporary. I just couldn't really think of any like mobile or DS or Nintendo games that really like struck me that hard. I guess maybe like Wii Sports, but
It's also hard to put a mobile game on a top 3.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Clash Royale, Clash Royale is deserved.
It's somewhere up there in the ranks,
Like,
but I don't know if a mobile game can
Like
ever
those
surpass
games
a
are
computer
good, but
game.
like, can you say Clash of Clans is like my top 3 favorite game of all time?
I don't know.
There's some Clash of Clans
I
addicts,
couldn't.
bro. There
Top
are.
10 list, Clash of Clans and Clash Royale would be near. They'd be on the list, if not honorable mentions.
Like top 15, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those are games that I play like every other day or every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't
Alrighty.
know,
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just let y'all know, man. My bronze medalist is FIFA 17.
Ooh, specifically
Get
17.
specific.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I mean I can't just say the FIFA franchise because there are some bad FIFA games. There are some ones you have to avoid. Like you need to avoid 18 through
How did they fuck up a
23.
FIFA game that isn't just like remastered graphics?
You'd hope it'd just keep
Oh,
getting
yeah.
better, but
Yeah.
it seems like every year everyone complains more.
Well,
That's what I've
yeah,
gathered.
I mean that's a valid point. There's just some games that are just better than others in terms of the mechanics, just sort of the gameplay. Some of the years there'd be some OP like strategies
Mm-hmm.
where you could just like FIFA 14, you could cross the ball and Zlatan would just head the ball in the net every time, and you couldn't do anything about it. Even if you had like a 6'7" center back, he can't stop Zlatan.
It's Zlatan's world.
So I chose FIFA 17. I chose FIFA 17 because, in my opinion, it is the most complete FIFA. The gameplay was just there. The gameplay was peak. It was fast. It was responsive. The in-game tactics, you can do in-game tactics in FIFA. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but those actually like made a difference in the game more than other games. And I've played almost all FIFA, so I know what I'm talking about over here. All right.
Big FIFA
This
guy.
guy knows what he's talking
They had
about.
this. This was the only year they had this story mode. It was called Journey, where they give you this guy. I think his name was Alex or something. That's your name, dude.
That was me.
But they would basically the story would be Alex's journey from like teenage years to the Premier League, and it would just go through his childhood with soccer and then football, right? Because he's in England. But then like in the end of the journey, he'd like complete a Premier League season.
Mm.
And that was like, it was just such a good storyline, and the graphics were really good for FIFA 17.
Okay.
And also in Ultimate Team, the foot drafts were really good. FUT drafts, you basically draft your own team. It's just all the cards that are in Ultimate Team, and you can just choose. It gives you like 5 for each position. Mm-hmm. But the drafts were really good that year because they added a lot of cards that year. So like FIFA 17 and on, there were way more cards in the game. There's more like promo releases. It was just a great game, just all around. So,
did you ever buy players like on like third-party websites?
No, avoid that.
I've done that before.
It's not sketchy?
On like FIFA 16.
It worked?
It did work. They put it up on the market for like a coin or something.
That's a little worrying.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, I forgot the exact way it worked. It's been like...
I did not.
16. It's been like 7 years.
I will say I spent a lot of money on FIFA 17 just for like the packs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was just so hooked to that game. But I'm gonna let Colin take over.
All right, nice. FIFA is. I played a lot of FIFA 20. I want to say one of the more recent ones. I don't know. I enjoy the career mode in every game.
You are a career mode guy. We talked about this.
I do like career modes. So yeah, my number 3 on my list, a game that I don't think anyone else has played, is Kingdom Hearts 2.
Nope.
Yeah, so I guess just I bet a lot of people probably haven't even heard of it. It's essentially it's an RPG. So you play as a character named Sora, and it's a mixture of combat using like the main buttons that you would use for like square, triangle, because I play PlayStation, and like a normal like action game. But then you also have like spells, and you have to balance that with like using healing potions. But you also have 2 sidekicks, Goofy and Donald from the Disney.
That's
from
awesome.
Disney, and they like also have attacks, and you can like save up like your XP and like MP to like upgrade them, and they can use spells. It's like the combat is very complicated.
It's like
usually
pets, like having little pets.
It usually
it's like what's that? Dark Souls.
It's a lot like
Disney's Dark Souls.
It's a lot like Dark Souls. It's made by the same people that made Final Fantasy. So if anyone's ever played any of the Final Fantasy games, there's actually Cloud is in the game at one point. You can fight him in there's like an arena mode that you can do where you just fight like waves of enemies, and he's like the final boss. It's kind of cool.
That would be sick.
Also, just like a basis of like the story, it's insanely complicated. Like it takes hours to like talk about the entire lore and like chronological timeline of the games, but the basis of every Kingdom Hearts game is Sora's like a normal dude that gets like swept up into this world that's like otherworldly, and throughout the games he goes with Goofy and Donald to different Disney worlds. Mm-hmm. Kingdom Hearts 2, trying to remember, you definitely go to like Mulan, I remember. And you usually fight the villains from those movies too. So you fight the guy from Mulan. I want to say you go to Aladdin.
Wow. You travel.
Oh yeah, you go to like 4 or 5.
You see the sights.
And every game they add new ones in. Like the most recent one they did like Big Hero 6 and Toy Story.
Oh yeah.
And I think the new one, since Star Wars is Disney, they're going to do Star Wars in the next one, which will be cool.
Dude, you're such a Disney lad.
Cool.
Colin's a Disney lad.
Sora just goes into every Disney universe.
He goes into like every single one, yeah. And he just like becomes buddies with the Disney characters. It's kind of cool.
When is he going to get his own movie?
Dude, they should. I'm stunned they haven't made a Kingdom Hearts movie. Because it's huge in Japan. Because Square Enix is a Japanese company. I just kind of listed some reasons why I love it. It's a long grind. One of the most challenging games I've ever finished. Like, there were some bosses that took me hours to beat. But it's just so satisfying when you can finally do it. There's a lot of diversity with, like, the worlds and the enemies. Like I said, you're going to different Disney IPs. So, like, each one is going to be very different from the other, which I like a lot. And this, like I said, the story is, like, super complex. But if you do, like, take the time to, like, read up on it, it makes the game that much better. And it's interesting. So that was my number 3. I love Kingdom Hearts.
Nice. That's a good choice.
It's like it's like an open world game, right? Like
yeah,
like kind of like Zelda.
Yeah.
Wizards 101.
Yeah, like each world.
Oh,
you're in.
that's a throwback.
I played the shit out of that game.
I
I did
also
too.
played the shit out of that game.
I played it until I had
Honorable
to
mention
buy.
unless you're covering it.
No, I'm not.
That
Definitely
is a good. That is a.
I
that
played
is
it
a
up until I had to
childhood
buy
Yeah.
new like worlds. You had to buy like open a gate, and I was like, I'm not playing anymore.
game.
Yeah.
Oh no, I bought the membership.
Oh, I bought the membership too.
I completed like the first arc of that game, like
Dude,
where you could go to level like 50,
Uh-huh.
and then now you can go to like it's like level 160
I
or
grinded
something.
that game. My friend and I, one summer, we just grinded that. I have like a level 120 character, and then I have 5 level 60 characters that I use for
That's
PvP.
nuts.
I got a character like level 70, and then I was just like,
So you were,
He has 6 of those.
And then I, like,
you were probably an Avalon. Were you an Avalon?
yeah, I think so actually. And then I just like stopped playing, and they kept releasing stuff, and then I was just like, there's no way I'd ever come back and
They're at
play
like
this.
level 160 now or something.
Yeah,
It just keeps going.
That is a crazy.
They're gonna need a level rework.
Great shout out, John. That was a great fucking.
we were talking about it earlier today. It was
Yeah.
like I gotta talk about Wizards 101, man.
Yeah. My
Gotta
friend
make
and I
the
we would
podcast.
download Cheat Engine and make it so that we could walk like 1,000,000 miles an hour. Like no mount, we could just like pretty much walk across the map in like 30 seconds.
That's nice.
It helps speed up the game.
Similar to like the like Disney made their own like version of that. What was it like Toontown?
I don't,
Yeah.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
Oh, it was literally like the same thing, but with like Disney characters.
Hmm. No way they
Lame.
could master. No way they could beat
No.
Wizard 101.
No, it's on Steam now.
I
Really?
saw they just made their own version of Stardew Valley too,
Disney has everything.
like a Disney Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
I didn't play that game.
Oh, I played a crap ton of Stardew Valley with my friends. Like during COVID, we would just hop on Stardew Valley every night and grind for it. It's fun.
All right. Well, I will take my number 3 away. My number
Go for
3 is Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Oh, dude, I forgot
Great.
about that game.
That's a great.
I played.
great
That was like
choice.
my childhood
That's
game.
an honorable
Alright, we
mention.
might be talking about Black Ops more than once in this video.
Honorable mention, BO2.
Yeah,
Honorable mention.
BO2. I think that one was definitely my favorite Call of Duty game I played. I started with Modern Warfare 3. Like that was the earliest one I played, and then I played until like Advanced Warfare, Ghost, all those came out. But I think Black Ops 2 is my favorite just because of like the basicness of the game. The gunplay was balanced. They had a competitive rank system, which is like I always fiend for some competition in video games. So that was right up my alley. And then it tops all the other Call of Duty games because once it got to Advanced Warfare and Ghost, and they just started adding like almost Titanfall mechanics into Call of Duty, it started not becoming the same Call of Duty franchise
I will
that they
say,
had originated.
dude, I was on the Advanced Warfare wave.
Really?
Me and my friends all were. We would play customs all the time on that game. Like I loved the wall rides. I was
See,
the
for
wall
me, I
runs.
was just like, if I just want to wall ride and do all these like fancy flying around mechanics, I'll just go play Titanfall. It's a better Call of Duty
That's
if
fair.
that's what you want.
But dude, you didn't talk about the BO2 zombies.
Oh, BO2
Yeah.
Zombies. Origins was my favorite.
Oh,
man.
Yes,
Origins.
the Origins is so good.
They had so many Easter eggs you could do
Yes.
just on any map, but Origins was building the staffs was always the best part.
Dude,
Yep, we always look
What
at those
staff?
YouTube
What staff
videos.
did we all
You
get?
always watch the YouTube videos. I'm
Yeah, how to build the staffs in 10 minutes.
I always use the ice staff for the
I
most
don't
part.
Ice staff.
remember. I think
But,
I used the ice.
Dude,
staff.
I grinded Origins
Yeah.
like solo. I was like top 8,000 on like solo rankings for Origins. At one
Holy
point.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, you must know that map in and out.
yeah. I played like I would just like do runs. That's something I did with like the Call of Duty. I used to like just like grind the zombies and then just do like solo runs.
Yeah. I always got the lightning staff. I loved getting the upgraded lightning staff, and I could just like spawn the little ball of lightning that would shoot and kill all the
Dude,
zombies.
once you get to
and I wouldn't have to do any work.
Once you get to a high enough level in the zombies game you're playing, you can just like run around in circles and get them all in mobs.
Yeah,
And you just
train them.
headshot them.
Yeah.
Yeah, train them. Whatever.
I also like Buried with Leroy Jenkins.
Oh,
Buried
yeah.
is
He'd
awesome.
give
Buried
him
was a fun
booze and
one.
he'd like knock things down.
I remember
yeah.
that.
Give
Buried
him
was a
candy.
fun one.
Yeah, give him
Dude,
candy too.
I forgot about just Call of Duty in general.
How could you forget about
I'm not
Call of
gonna
Duty?
lie.
Yeah.
Because like they're all irrelevant to me except for BO2 and Advanced Warfare.
Especially I mean, do you grow up on the Xbox?
I grew up on PS3 and Wii, and then I moved to Xbox.
Yeah.
But
I grew up on the Xbox.
I played
Xbox
BO2
360.
on.
Yeah.
I played BO2 on
what a
PS3.
legendary console. I also played Destiny on that console. That's another honorable mention for me.
Destiny is
I
a fun
grinded
one.
Destiny.
I never got into Destiny. I heard it was a
I
lot
neither.
of fun though.
I did not either.
People still play Destiny a lot.
Yeah, Destiny.
They're still adding stuff because it's free now.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Alrighty, well, I think we're ready to move on to our silver medal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Great
uh,
first
That
round.
was
I already
awesome.
hinted,
So many different
I already
games.
hinted at it,
Yeah.
but my number 2 is Call of Duty Black Ops.
Mm.
I was in between. I was in between 1 and 2. Since you did 2, I'll just take 1.
Yeah.
I think by far that the Call of Duty Black Ops series, those 2 are the best Call of Duties that they have released. Honorable mention the newer one. What was the new one that they? Not the
That one
newest
was
one,
good.
but
Cold War.
Cold War.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
Cold War.
Cold
War's
War.
not that
Cold
good,
War, dude. The campaign Cold War is awesome.
That's the newest one. Cold War.
Not like
Newest
the
Black Ops.
It was
Okay.
like the last like Black Ops kind of.
I'm not much of a
storyline.
campaign guy on Call of Duty. I don't know why. I just go straight to multiplayer and zombies over.
The zombies is pretty good there too, but I definitely think Black Ops and Black Ops 2 are the best Call of Duties to come out. I grew up on Black Ops, like that was the first Xbox 360 game I got.
Mm.
So I used to put on like Syndicate. What is it? Syndicate.
Yeah.
He used to do like the
Mhm.
zombie streams,
Syndicate.
and I used to just watch those and just like solo play Kino like so much.
Before he got involved in the CS:GO gambling scandal.
Yeah, exactly. But no, yeah, there's a lot of nostalgia, and I think the zombies was really good, and I thought the multiplayer was really good in that game. Like you could basically use anything in multiplayer, and it was viable.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Basically, all the same reasons.
They just had those games just had the best gunplay.
they were
I
the
think.
best.
The best
Yeah,
mechanics.
they were the best. They just
The
they were so
MSMC and multiplayer.
Oh,
I
yeah.
use that all the time.
AN-94 and Black Ops 2.
The
I love
Remington.
that
Y'all
game.
use the Remington?
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
What was the sniper?
There was
What
like
was
the,
sniper?
the DSR-50 and the
DSR-50
Ballista.
and the
Oh,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
And
But
then-
Ballista was the hit marker machine.
And then
bro.
everyone
Yeah.
goes through the trick shot phase. That was a big
Yeah.
trick shot phase when you're
Oh,
jumping
yeah.
off of carrier.
That's when
Yeah.
FaZe
and
was getting
spinning.
Carrier.
And you're
holding the tomahawk trying to hit it across the map.
FaZe was getting so popular through those two games.
yeah, that is when like
Yeah.
FaZe really blew up during that time, like when they were doing a bunch of those. So.
It was like the dude perfect of the video gaming world. Watch me hit this gnarly trick shot.
Basically,
720 black scope tomahawk cross map.
Yeah, but that's not
a million views in an hour.
Yeah.
Alrighty, well, I'm gonna. You good? You good with your?
Yes, that's my number 2.
I'm gonna move on to my number 2. You guys can probably guess what it is. I think everyone has played this game in this room. I'm not sure about Colin. I think Colin has. It is a more recent game released in 2015, and it is Rocket League.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
This was coming.
Y'all probably know what number
I
one
knew
is.
that one was on there.
So I got Rocket League late 2016. It had been out for over a year, but the first year of Rocket League, it was kind of just like beta testing phase. Like the maps were just, there was like 1 or 2 maps. The gameplay was not perfect. So I kind of got Rocket League when it was really fully released, and I got to experience the I don't know, the journey of getting better, of improving. Because
The
Rocket League is one of those games that has a very large skill gap.
Mm-hmm.
You can either just not know how to jump in the air and boost, or you can just be that guy that does like flip resets and I don't even know.
Double touch flip reset, musty flick.
Yeah, basically quadruple touch.
Yeah, quadruple touch.
But I don't know, this game. I started playing this like in high school-ish, I guess middle school too. And I would always have 1 or 2 friends to play duos or trios with. It was just a good like comfort game, I guess. You could always just go back on it.
Josh and I play duos all the time.
Yeah, now we play pretty competitively, as
Yeah.
competitively as we can with our
with our skills.
with our skill set. And also I wanted to mention Rocket League used to have like a crate system. And you could you would
I
play a
forgot
game.
about the crate system, dude.
You would play a game and you'd get a crate and you could open it, and it was just exciting. Every season would have a new crate, and so you would want to save up all the crates because then they won't ever come out again. And then I'm gonna mention the trading system because I have to.
Yeah.
So there's so many items in this game, and they all have value according to like websites, and there's like trading hubs on each console. And I used to spend hours just on the trading hub, looking at prices and seeing where I can get the best deals for certain items and like black market skins and decals. And I don't know, I miss the crate system because now they have blueprints and no one really cares about the blueprints. So
Yeah.
they like try to get your money because you have to pay to open it
Yeah.
to unlock it. But I don't know, Rocket League is just one of those games I'm always going to go back to. I feel like no matter what, so I had to put it on my list, number
Mhm.
2.
It's a great call. I've the skill gap is just so large.
It's so
in that
it's so
game.
large. It is really big.
I've always struggled in that game, so I've never really gotten into it.
Yeah.
I'm actually making a last minute substitution on my list.
Oh,
I was originally gonna have Batman Arkham City as my number 2.
dude, I played that game. That was a great game.
And I actually might keep it.
Well,
Well, what's your other
so what's
game
the
you're
other
thinking
one?
of?
Yeah.
Black Ops. I was deciding between Black Ops or Modern Warfare 2 because those games I have just put a ridiculous amount of hours into as a kid. But I think I am. I'll keep Batman Arkham City just so we can diversify the discussion a little bit because
Yeah.
it would just be kind of repetitive.
We don't want to all talk about
talk
Call
about
of Duty.
Black Ops.
Yeah.
I don't know if have any of you guys played Arkham City?
Yes,
You
I
played
played
it?
it not for much though, not for long.
Okay.
just
I
a
haven't
little
played
bit.
it. Funny enough, I've seen like some videos on like gameplay of it.
That's
The
one of
gameplay
those
is
games,
awesome,
yeah.
dude. The gameplay
I'm always
is so
like,
awesome.
that game looks like fun, but like I'm not gonna buy it and sit down and play it.
That's fair. They do have like all of the Arkham games in a bundle, like remastered. I would recommend playing them if you like Batman. I
even if you don't.
freaking love Batman. I don't read a lot of comics really at all, but he's like the only superhero I've actually read some comics of because I think he always just has the best stories. I think it helps that he's a bit more grounded. And like, usually it's a detective story, which I like, and I think he has the best villains too. His villains are so cool.
The Joker.
So yeah, I love Batman, and I really
Hard to
consider
top the
this
Joker.
game.
You can't top the
he's
Joker.
probably the most iconic villain ever.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect Batman game. The whole joke is that like in IGN's review, they were like, it really makes you feel like Batman.
You become the Batman.
I
Is
mean,
Baby
like,
Batman in that?
oh, dude, I can't spoil that.
Okay.
I can't spoil that. You have to play
Yeah,
it.
don't.
But,
Gotta play it.
Gotta
Gotta play it to experience it.
It's like
I would hope so.
if you love
Baby
Batman,
Batman.
it delivers in that category. It's an original Batman story. All of the big villains are in the game, like everyone.
Is
Joker,
Big- is-
Two-Face, Clayface, the Penguin, Mr. Freeze, and like the boss fights are all like very unique and like you have to beat each one differently. Like you have to use a different strategy, which I really like. The way the gameplay flows in combat, like the way you have to combo with like parrying
Yeah.
and dodging and hitting and using gadgets. It's just it flows so well.
I was gonna say the gameplay, like the
it's
combat.
almost a rhythm game.
Yeah,
in a way.
the combat with Batman was very similar to the new Star Wars Battlefront 2 with like the hero fights because you have to like worry about your health a lot
Yeah.
and you dodge a lot, block
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, it's
It's
very
sort
similar.
there's a lot of strategy, but yeah, it's like you got to get into a flow, and then you start to build up combos, and Batman gets stronger, and it's a cool open world. You're just like
Yeah.
gliding around Arkham City.
Who doesn't want to
fighting
do that?
thugs?
Fighting
It's
thugs.
it's dope, and Batman's just like so OP, which just makes it so fun because you can
Yeah.
just beat the shit out of some people. I love
Yep.
it.
It's awesome. Solid
Arkham
choice,
City.
man. Solid
Appreciate it.
choice. My choices are so
Man,
lame.
now I'm gonna have to play the game to see if Baby Batman is in it.
Oh, dude, I think I highly recommend playing.
Is
it.
Baby
It's
is
very
Baby
good.
Bowser in it?
I think that's the Mario movie.
Oh,
Or Mario the
okay.
Mario games.
I mix up Mario and Batman all the time.
Yeah,
That's
it's
an
a common
understandable mistake. Yeah.
Well, my number 2, I don't know why I had like a lapse in my judgment and said it earlier, but it's Destiny. Destiny is my number 2.
That's funny.
I don't know where my brain went wrong there, but I love Destiny. There was like one summer I really grinded Destiny. I've played it for like 2 or 3 years, but I grinded it one summer because I had broken my foot at the start of summer. So I was gonna go to camps and like try to be more active, but because my foot was broken, I couldn't. So I just sat down and played Destiny like every single day. And I learned how to. If you don't know what Destiny is, it can be a single player or multiplayer game. It's basically like an open world shooter where you fight mobs to get loot, you get better armor, and that like upgrades your ability to kill higher level mobs and like take on raids at the highest level, or do like the most competitive PvP, which actually is like gear determinate. So like if you have very bad gear, you will do a terrible job against someone with like the best gear in the game just because they're better than you.
Yeah.
But I loved like the system of I love the progression system in Destiny. I think Destiny 2 kind of ruined it a bit, but they're bringing it back now because they've been listening to the community. But Destiny 1 had some of the best raids. I think they had some of the best PvP action too, and like just the way that you went about getting different guns and armor to participate in like PvP or PvE, because there was guns that were better for each, was some of the best times I ever had. I remember there was this one gun called the Galahorn. I don't know if you guys have played Destiny.
No, I haven't.
Okay, but there was this rocket launcher. It was like the best PvE gun ever. It was called the Galahorn, and it's a rocket launcher. You shoot it at someone, and it like hits them, does original damage, and then splits off into like 10 or 20 swarms of like mini nades that then target back onto the main person that it hit.
That's
So,
crazy.
Sounds
you're
busted.
Yeah.
That's a death sentence right there.
It is. It wipes out almost any raid boss. If you have a team of all Galahorns, that boss is gonna get shredded. But I tried getting that gun for like the first year and a half, and I could never get it to drop for me because it was an exotic, which is like the highest rarity in the game.
Yeah.
I could never get this thing to drop for me. And I remember we did this one raid. It was a fallen raid. If anyone listening knows Destiny, it was a fallen raid. And at the end, you get to open this big treasure chest, and you get like one good piece of loot. And the loot that I got was the fucking Galahorn in that moment. I like got out of my chair, threw my headset down, and just ran and started screaming. I was
Top
like,
five-
"Go fucking way!"
Top 5 moment for Alex.
That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, that I will remember that for the rest of my life.
That's awesome, dude.
But
That's
I created like some of the best friends I created were on Destiny. We all knew how to run all the raids together, and then we would do Trials of Osiris, which was like that high end PvP I was talking about. And if you went 9-0, which was flawless, you would get like some of the, like even better gear. And we would just go flawless like every week. We played that game. I mean like 70 hours a week it felt like. But I love Destiny. I think it's one of the best PvE RPG MMO games
Yeah.
out there. Right up there with Wizard 101.
Oh yeah, elite tier.
Elite. All right, well, I think we're ready to move on to our number one,
Number
right,
one.
Colin?
Gold
Yeah, I think
medals.
So.
If you guys are having a good time and you've been listening up to this far, leave a comment. What should I leave a comment for? Gremlin. Type Gremlin.
Gremlin. With a Z. Gremlins.
Gremlins with a Z. If you've listened so far to this time point.
Also drop your top 3 video game list.
Oh, we would love to see some of those lists.
I would love to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good exposure because I've never played Destiny. I've heard a lot of really good things about Destiny though.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, but
Mhm.
overall they try to make the game as good as the community wants it to be.
Well, I feel like I know what your number one is. I know what your number one is. Colin, I don't know if I know what your number one is.
I don't think anyone's gonna guess it.
Okay, so
I'll
I have
just
my head screwed on straight with who I think
I know what
is.
yours is.
Yeah.
gonna be.
My
Y'all
guess-
know who
This is-
y'all
I think
know
I
Collins
can
is
guess-
the only number one
I can
don't
guess
know.
everyone's. I bet.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Except for you.
Yeah, I don't
You're a
think
toss
Damn,
up.
does Colin put Madden as his number one?
Oh, don't be Madden, bro. All right. Well, let's.
It could be.
That'd be
Mike, I
crazy.
think you're up.
All right. Well, it's probably pretty obvious, but Counter Strike is definitely my number one.
Yeah.
What? No.
I wasn't
yeah,
expecting that.
Counter Strike Global Offensive CS:GO, definitely my number one. If you don't know what it is, it's literally just Call of Duty Search and Destroy, but there's an economy system to it. It's the reason I love that game so much is because you have players who can be really mechanically skilled at the game, but then also there's an aspect of like game knowledge because you have an economy system and you have to buy the utility used to take parts of the map and to be able to execute a site correctly. There's a lot of strategy. So Counter-Strike to me is more of a strategy game than an actual like shooter game. Like I like to think my mechanics are pretty good. But like I
As you're
definitely
sitting at Max Frank.
I definitely like the strategy the most out of Counter-Strike, though. Any game that I play, I like to try and like think of the strategy with the game, and that's like when I find like the most enjoyment. But not just game, like even like sports. Like when I understand like the strategy of a sport, I'm like, oh, now it's like really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good game. I did want to say I had a couple of honorable mentions, and it's basically just like anything, most of the Nintendo made stuff. So like Super Mario Bros. Or like Mario Kart or like Smash. Those were like 3 games where like I couldn't put them in my top 3.
Yeah, me
but
too.
like those Nintendo games, like I also grew up.
Smash, Mario Kart,
Yeah, I grew up playing those games on like the Wii, and like those games are awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was considering Mario Kart and Wii Sports, but I just couldn't really do it. I couldn't pull the trigger on those 2. I was like, I have these other 3 games that I like way more significant.
Smash is. I strongly considered Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah, Smash
I mean,
is
it's like-
up
I'm just
there.
not good at Smash.
it's a
fair.
great game, and it's. I mean, even now, like it gets played a ton. We played when we first moved in last year. Alex used to host us all in here, and we used to play Smash for like hours.
Smash and Kart.
Yeah.
Smash and Kart.
Those are the best
Smash and
nights.
Kart.
Those are the best nights, though.
Yeah.
Besides movie night. Movie
No,
night
yeah,
tops.
movie night's top tier.
Alrighty, well, are you good with your
Yeah.
CS?
Yeah.
I am. I'm gonna expose
Good with
to
CS.
the audience.
Sure you don't want to go back and change it?
Yeah,
You sure about that? You sure you're good with that?
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, that'll work.
That'll
It
work.
passes.
Alrighty, well, I'm going to tell the audience, and y'all already know what my number 1 is, but I'm gonna tell the audience.
Yeah, the audience has no idea.
My number, yeah, you guys have no clue who I am. I'm a mystery. My number 1 is Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, aka
What?
Siege,
Since
aka
when?
R6, aka Rainbow Six, aka Rainbow. Anything
AKA
flies.
Sussy Baka.
If you've watched Breaking Bad, you understand that reference.
The Sussy Baka reference?
Yeah,
What?
because Hank, the guy that plays Hank, says it.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
I figured that was just something that came from like online.
Oh, it definitely did, but it's like
He
very
said
famous
it
with
too.
Hank. Yeah.
Dang.
All right, so Siege, man, Siege. Where do I start? It's just this was the second Xbox game I bought. I basically got it right when I got my Xbox One in 2015. It was released in 2015, and I got it like for my birthday in 2015.
Mhm.
So, just to like kind of go over the game, it is. I don't know if it's similar to. It's not really similar to CS, but in terms of like the mechanics of it, the gameplay is so realistic. That's just one of the things I love about it. The strategy is all there. If you're in a team of 5, you all have communication with each other. You can all like do your own strategies on the map. Basically, there's attack and defense rounds, and if you're an attacker, you attack like a building, and if you're a defender, you're inside the building and you're like barricading. You're setting up your defenses, your traps. There's just a lot of strategy that goes into it that a lot of people overlook in a game. I'm not professional by any means. I like to consider myself well above average in the game, just because I have over 100 days in this game. So I have almost a significant part of a year just sitting down on this game.
That's like 2,400 hours.
Yeah, it's a lot of hours. But like some of the reasons I like it, it's just one of those games I can always go back to and just expect nothing but the best experience, the best gameplay, the best graphics. The graphics are out of this world for a first-person shooter, like out of this world. And yeah, I mean I could just keep talking about it, but I think I've summed it up pretty well. Siege, man, if y'all haven't played Siege, what are you doing? What are you doing with your lives?
Play some Siege.
I know if my high school friends are listening to this podcast, they will be just nodding yes to everything I've just said. One continuous nod.
Yeah.
But-
Siege is another one I'm not very good at, which is why I don't love playing it all the time, because that's another game with a pretty big skill gap.
Yeah,
But I have a lot of respect
Yeah.
for like what the developers like created, because that game is just like so well balanced, and like there's so much diversity in the operators. It's kind of they're kind of running out of ideas now.
I will
but-
say the newer operators are a little on the downturn.
Yeah.
In terms of like, if you see general loadouts with the teams, a lot of the teams will run like older operators that have more, I guess, OP abilities. So that is one of the downsides of the game, but that doesn't affect me because I'm pretty good with every operator.
At some point, that has to happen to any game though that keeps
Yeah.
adding new characters.
Yeah,
I
that's
just,
fair.
I just remember like high school. If I could get like my friends and I would get like 8 of us on, and then we'd do a custom game.
Oh
4v4,
man, the custom games were so
and we'd
fun.
go into our own chats so we can only talk
yeah,
to our
yep,
team.
that's what
it's
we did.
So fun.
That's what we did.
So fun.
Siege
That's
is
hard.
like a more complicated version of CS:GO.
Yeah,
It's like in like a really simple term, like, and then other than an economy system, it's kind of like Overwatch, where it's like you have all the operators are like unique in their own like ability and weapon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like similar to Siege, like CS:GO also has like a really, both those games have super hard skill curves.
Yeah.
I mean, Ubisoft made a wonderful game. I love Ubisoft for that game. I just can't. thank
Yeah,
them
you
enough.
need skill and knowledge to like compete at the highest ranks because you have to have map knowledge and like gameplay awareness. You have to have
You have to have aim.
you have to have aim. That's like the
Aim might be the
technical
most
side.
important part of Siege.
Oh, I mean, I think any shooter game you need. If you can't do much without aim,
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's very
like,
true.
you could be
aim
pretty
in
tactical.
Siege-
You could be pretty tactical.
if you're a high ranked
But
player in
you need
Siege
aim.
versus like a lower ranked or average, the gap in aim and like flicking on people is just crazy.
Reflexes. You need to
Yeah.
get reflexes
Oh, yeah.
too. You need to be able
That's
to
any
react
game.
quick.
That's any
Mhm.
shooter game.
Yeah, man.
But wait, Colin, you ready to go?
This is
Yeah,
the enigma
man.
right here.
My number one game. It's gonna be a controversial pick for people that have played it. The Last of Us Part 2. It's my number one game I've ever played.
Really?
For a multitude
What?
of
I would have never
reasons.
guessed.
Dude, where are these games coming
The
from,
last
man?
one, I don't even know if I like,
So,
know what that's
You're,
about.
dude, your top 3 list is wild.
Yeah, these are just the games that I play. I play mostly story games. I can, obviously I've put more time into Madden and NBA 2K than any other game, but like, I mean, I don't even really play them anymore, and I don't know. No other game has stuck with me like this game did after I played it. It's just like, I mean, I think it says a lot that they adapted the first game into a show, and it was, in terms of viewership, HBO's most successful show ever, because the story is just amazing. The first game definitely has a much more concise story. It only takes about 15 hours to beat the game. And I think that helps the story out in a lot of ways. This game takes like 30 hours. It takes like twice as long to beat, which is a long. 30 hours is a long time
That's
for
a
a story
grind.
game.
That is a grind.
But they completely overhauled the gameplay, and essentially once you get like into the chunk of the game, you're basically John Wick. Literally, like you're in the like post-apocalyptic Seattle,
Yeah.
and you're going around. There's all these like raiders trying to catch you and kill you because you're trying to hunt down someone.
Right.
So the whole game, you're just like tearing through people trying to find this one person, and like you can upgrade like a Magnum pistol and throw a water bottle on it to give it a silencer, take someone out, then the silencer's gone, but then you can like put someone in a headlock and put a gun to their head, shoot someone while you have them in a headlock, shoot that person. And like the physics are good where like if you shoot someone's leg, they lose their leg and they're like crawling at you, like still trying to get you. And like, oh dude, if you just look up like The Last of Us Part 2 John Wick gameplay, there will be so many videos that come up. It's crazy what people have done in that game.
I'm doing it
Like,
right now.
Set up trap mines somewhere, someone explodes, shoot this guy, switch gun, shoot this person, throw a grenade. It's so fun. And then the story, the reason why I said it's controversial is because I can't, if people are listening and they've watched the show hasn't gotten to the second game yet, but they do something very controversial in this game that a lot of people felt like was a big fuck you to the fans of the first game. But I personally thought it made the story so much more endearing, and it made you feel the same emotions as the characters. And it aligned your motivations with the characters, which I liked. And like the whole story is about like revenge and vengeance and like the cycle of violence that comes with revenge, and it's dude, after the credits roll, you're just like, holy shit, that game is nuts.
That's crazy.
I love that game.
Yeah, dude, this gameplay is nuts. I'm on a video right now.
Dude, yeah, it's so fun. You can.
Let me see
It's
a
like a
little glimpse.
perfect. You can play stealthy, or you can just beat the crap out of people.
Oh, that was great graphics.
Yeah,
Oh,
the graphics are nuts.
I think the best graphics of any video game. And this came out on PS4
Really?
originally. Yeah. They've remastered it for PS5, but it originally came out on PS4. It was like the last big game to come out before the PS5.
Yeah. Sounds like the possibilities are endless. You can murder someone however you want.
Dude, yeah, you get. I mean, by the end
I
of the
love
game,
murdering people.
you have like 10 guns too.
Yeah.
Like, you can do whatever you want. It's so fun. It is a very violent game. There's a lot of blood, and there are guard dogs that you cannot kill them, which is good because I don't like killing the dogs. But that is an aspect of the game,
Yeah.
which kind of sucks. But
Yeah, it's interesting.
I love it.
Alrighty, well.
Nice. Well, I mean, I think you guys know my number one.
Yeah.
But for anyone that doesn't, my number one game is Overwatch. I have been playing Overwatch throughout its whole life cycle. Like, I started when you needed to get a beta key. I got a key to play the game and like logged on while they were testing it. And then the game Overwatch originally. Well, I'd say specifically my favorite game is Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2 is way more remastered and also like way more put together than Overwatch 1 was. But I played Overwatch 1 throughout its whole life cycle. And then I jumped into Overwatch 2 after they created that. I think the game's been going now for like 6 years. It might have been when I was in 8th grade. 8th grade I started playing it, or freshman year of high school. I think that was when it originally came out. But I've played the game. I've had periods where I haven't played it. But every time I've always come back to Overwatch. And I think right now is honestly like it is. I mean, right now it's the game I play the most. It's my competitive outlook.
You're always on Overwatch.
I'm not a big sports person, but I'm a very competitive person, and Overwatch has been like a great competitive outlook for me. I try to play the game for like 1 to 2 hours a day because I'm trying to get better so that I can join the UGA team, and I want to actually be like a person on that team, on not the B team. I want to join the A team.
Best of the best, man.
I want to be the best. Yeah, I want to be the best of the best. So I've been putting in a lot of time and effort into like practicing it. Like every day I'll get on, I'll do like 10, 20 minutes of aim warm up, and then try to like learn some more about how I can improve my own gameplay. And then I'll hop into ranked games for a few hours to try to like take everything that I've been learning and then execute it in game. And I think it's just one of the best competitive games too. I mean, it's very hard to top the team gameplay in Overwatch. If you do not work as a team, it makes a significant difference in like the efficacy of your actions. Like you need to be able to perform at your best ability, but even if you as like a sole contributor are performing at like top tier ability, you need the rest of your team to be able to cooperate with you because you're only as strong as your weakest link in Overwatch. Yes, you can have like a carry here and there, but that doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I'm a very new Overwatch 2 player, but I would sometimes go off on my own against like a 1v2 situation, and the healers were nowhere near me.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, oh man, this is not how you're supposed to play this game at all.
Yeah, that's when the team gameplay comes in handy.
I was playing Siege on Overwatch.
I also say Overwatch is a very hard game to play on console as well. I feel like Overwatch is a computer game.
Yeah.
Yes, it's on consoles, but it is very much a computer game. Just for this, because you need split second reaction time.
Yeah.
I think the buttons on keyboard are easier to hit too, and also aiming is just a bit easier.
That's
yeah.
fair.
But yeah, Overwatch 2 specifically is my favorite game.
It's a great choice.
Do you know Sam Chin, the guy you're gonna be rooming with?
Yeah.
He's on the UGA Overwatch team.
Really?
One of your roommates?
Yeah, the guy who I'm rooming with for study abroad.
Really?
He's a buddy of mine. I have his Discord. I'll give you his Discord.
Really?
Yeah, he's on the UGA.
Dude.
Okay.
Wow.
I heard that the average rank was like somewhere in Masters.
3,900.
3,900?
Yeah.
Wait,
I asked Sam what the average on their team was. He said 3,900.
Is that?
Oh, I don't know where I am in terms of that.
Are you like at
It's
3900?
master. It's like high end masters.
Okay, yeah.
But
I don't know the exact. Yeah,
that's so interesting because I actually like Overwatch the first one more than I like Overwatch 2.
Really?
Yeah, because I think
The single tank just makes it so that the DPS can contribute a lot more. In my opinion.
They made it a lot more fast paced.
Mm-hmm.
But like I remember, because I played Overwatch. I have Overwatch 2. I just don't play it as much.
Yeah, you don't. I'm in your room all the time.
But Overwatch, like the original, I don't know. It still like was good, but having the 6-player, like the tanks were not like busted. I feel like all the tanks are just so incredibly powerful in Overwatch 2 because like you only have one tank, so they have to have like a lot of health, like really good abilities to keep them alive. And like when I'm a DPS and I'm like trying to kill a tank, I'm like, oh my god.
Well, I honestly love that aspect about tanks because like you can't just target a tank right away and kill them. You have to dive into the back line. You have to be able to pick off a support or a DPS. And like as a role with one tank, it is your sole responsibility to create space for your team to play in. Mm-hmm. And like with 2 tanks, you can kind of like diverge and like get like 2 parts of your team because both tanks can create space, but with only one tank, the whole team has to be playing together because it is that tank's job to create space, and it's the other team members' jobs to follow behind them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of
But
sense.
I respect your opinion too.
No, I also like
back with the old Bastion where you could prop up the turret and get like a shield.
not that far back.
Yeah, that was like OG.
But I started. I played Overwatch. That was probably like my first big PC game, other than like Team Fortress 2.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like similar games. Overwatch is a little more complete than that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Overwatch. I used to, and I also.
I want to play video games.
Video
games
time,
right
video
now, so
game.
bad.
Video game
no.
time.
But,
I was talking about
when,
it. Makes me want to go play some.
Like back when like the Overwatch League first came out, and they had like the Pro Overwatch. I used to watch that so much. Like I used to just watch. Like every day over the summer, I would just watch the Overwatch League, and then I would just play Overwatch. And I'm just like, I just want to be so.
Who was your favorite team?
Probably Seoul Dynasty.
Seoul.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like I've watched Overwatch League before, but I haven't been a big fan. But I'm trying to stay up to date with the new season that's coming out, and I'm just gonna support Atlanta Reign. I'm just gonna stay at home.
I like Atlanta Reign. I have a Sigma Atlanta Reign skin.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of tough.
When the yeah, I don't know. If I was like really into Overwatch 2, like you are, I would definitely like be keeping up with like the pro scene because it's just like so much fun to watch.
I think also
like,
watching pro gameplay is the best way to get like to play like a pro.
Yeah. Plus, like there's just like so much strategy and like how they dive, but then their mechanics are also crazy.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Alrighty, Colin.
All right, we've.
It's been a good podcast.
It has been a great.
Do we want to
podcast.
do
I really
reactions
enjoyed
or do we
this.
want to just close it off? 'Cause
Reactions?
I don't know any reactions to our lists by any of y'all.
Oh yeah. No, I thought everyone had a great list. Honestly,
I was
Yeah,
most
no,
surprised by your list, Colin, just
that doesn't
because.
surprise me. I'll even tell you, I have some my honorable mentions. I knew you guys weren't going to have played. Like Spider-Man PS4 almost made my list.
I wanted to play.
I
the
heard
game
that
so
game was
bad.
really good.
Dude,
Yeah.
but I knew I either had to put Batman or Spider-Man because
Yeah.
they're both the same concept where it's an open world superhero game and you're in a city fighting a bunch of bad guys. And then I had like God of War, PlayStation, then Call of Duty.
Alex, what was your number 3?
My number 3?
Yeah.
Black Ops 2.
What
Fortnite was an honorable mention.
Oh, but yeah,
for me.
Destiny is number 2. That's
Yeah,
right.
Destiny was 3.
Fortnite, dude. Back when like the PUBG when Battle Royales like first blew up. Oh my.
They were all over the
Everyone
place.
was on those two
Oh,
games.
my
Season
Battle
4.
Royales took the gaming scene by
Yeah.
storm.
That was crazy.
You guys
Now
ever
everyone
play
plays
H1Z1?
Warzone. Everyone
I
plays
played a little bit
Warzone
of H1Z1 too.
I didn't get into that game, but I remember watching videos on that game, and I was just
Yeah.
like, "This looks so fun!" Like,
It was pretty fun.
my computer wasn't good enough to like run that game though.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it was
never
cool.
played Fortnite. I watched those ones, but I never played
Yeah.
like those battle royales.
Gotcha.
Battle royales were so much fun
Honestly, not surprised by Alex's list. Really not surprised with Josh's list.
I'm pretty
Your
predictable.
list, I figured Madden or 2K would make it on to one of the spots.
Yeah, I definitely could have. I could have thrown. If I was going to throw one on, it would have been 2K for sure. Because
feel like
2K
I
was
was-
low key what made me. It's what got me into the NBA.
though.
I would have done FIFA a crime if none of their games made it on my top 3. I've spent so many hours on all the games.
Play
You owed it to
FIFA, like,
FIFA to put it on your list.
almost every day.
I devoted my childhood to FIFA. He's got to make the list.
Yeah.
But we
All
ready
right.
to close it off?
Yeah, I think
We've been going
I think
for a minute.
So we have been
So
going
long.
for a hot minute.
Comment Dingleberry if you're still here.
Yeah, I'm loving.
We need
I'm
a- we need a
gonna love to
Gremlins.
see
Yeah, Gremlins comes in earlier, and then if they made it all the way, we need a Dingleberry too.
Gremlins and
Separate
Dingleberry.
comments though.
Yes.
We don't want them in the same comment. That's a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hit the like button too, please.
if you are still listening,
Please.
thank you for listening. Even though this was a longer one, I hope it kept everyone entertained. I know we were all very entertained by this.
Mhm.
There's definitely a certain crowd that this will appeal to. That's
Yeah,
okay.
no. I
We've
mean,
got a
even
good
if you're
gamer
not
crowd.
into video games, I think we get into a lot
We
of
can,
like,
like,
why we
yeah.
love them, and
They can learn about them.
yeah, exactly.
Maybe they'll want to play them.
Maybe they'll want to play some of our games.
My dad's gonna hop on Rainbow Six after this podcast.
Yeah.
Catch Lewis on R6.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
All right. That being said, you've been listening to the Arctic Circle. This is the Icemen signing off. Thank you for listening, and stay icy until next time.
Peace.
Peace.